Hello, Leo. Welcome to your reading with me, Cindy. So, Pussycat Tribe, you guys have managed somehow to end up sort of like, I know it's not the beginning of the week, but it sort of feels like the beginning in that, like, I started a new series with you, so I took it full circle and did that with Cancer yesterday, like a full series of a type of reading. And so it's time to do something new. So you're sort of like the launching point right now on my channel when we're going to do a new reading. Now, what we're going to do, what we're going to do this week, this is a lot of fun. And it's a lot of fun because they've also changed it up a little bit. So we're going to do the reading called What the Hell is Your Deal, Man? So there's two versions of this. This is the second version of this reading where I originally created one. I mean, what the hell is their deal? Because you ever have someone that, like, I don't know what this person's thing is. I just don't get it. And it was really just designed to give you a deeper insight into someone. But hey, wait. Actually, when you turn it around and you make it, what the hell is your deal, man? It is so fascinating because it gives you an opportunity to look at yourself and go, just see, yeah, okay, maybe. And it also gives you the opportunity to kind of see how, who you really are versus, some of the masks you might wear in your life and in your relationships, and how this actually affects the relationships that you're in. I do give you advice and kind of outcomes and stuff if you follow the advice as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with my, okay, let's not do anything. Let's just stay put. No. We're going to do this reading. So I'm going to start with my Rider-Waite Tarot deck. And then I'm going to like build layers here. So instead of going into another tarot deck and clarifying, I'm going to go into, there we go. We're going to use our intuition in this too. I'm going to build up more on where each card is placed based on a question like who you really are, the mask that you're hiding behind, why you hide your true self, all that stuff. I'm going to use my energy oracle deck on top of that. And then still, I'm going to go into, have I used it on the channel yet? I think I used it in some extendeds. My karmic cards. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. Are y'all ready? There will be an extended too, and that'll go in. Anyways, I'll save that to the end. So, yeah. So let's get started. It is general. It may or may not resonate, or maybe parts of it will and parts of it won't. There will be an extended. So if you're drawn to that, the link will be at the top of the description of this video. All right, Leo, let's get into it, Pussycat Tribe. What the hell is your deal, man? I don't know. It's just I love the title of it. Man, what is your deal? Do you ever like want to walk up to someone and just say, what the HE double hockey sticks is your deal? I don't know. All right, Leo. Are you ready? What the hell is your deal? Now, this doesn't mean this is who you are, like it's a thumbprint for your entire life and you always wear masks like this. It's kind of, I'm like reading your energy right now. So reading your energy right now. All right, who you are right now. You are the Knight of Swords. You want to you're enthusiastic, fearless, and quick thinking, and you want to communicate. That's who you are right now. It doesn't mean that you're doing that, right? I just find this comes up a lot when it's like sort of a built-up desire to do something. You really want to do something. So that's who you are. That's who you really are. You just want to just fly in there. And perhaps you want to fix a situation, you want to communicate about a situation. All right, but the mask that you were hiding behind, the 10 of Pentacles. Huh. I love what I have written on here. God of prosperity, Lord of wealth. All right then. So, but it's the 10 of Pentacles. So the mask that you are hiding behind, I don't know, you could be like hiding behind your work. You could be burying yourself within your work and not necessarily charging forward in things that you would really like to charge forward on. This is very practical. You're being really practical right now, which is good because it's a part of you that's like, oh, I just want to charge forward. I just want to charge forward. I just want to speak my mind. but you're being practical. So God of prosperity and Lord of wealth is also, I mean, there's something here that you've built up, something you've been working on, creating, something that's very stable in your life. It's very predictable. So, you know, it may not be the best reaction. So I want to say right now your energy seems pretty good. Yeah. Okay, why you hide your true self? Temperance, you're biding your time. I'm hearing that. Balance, something needs to come into balance here. Perhaps with the Knight of Swords, like who you really are right now, the Knight of Swords, wanting to charge forward. So you're biding your time. That's why. Or maybe you need to process something. Maybe there's something you're in the depths of processing. So how this affects your relationships. The Knight of Wands. I want to say, because, okay, this is Sagittarius. So this is Sagittarius. So there is a sense of like higher learning for yourself in this. I don't know, a lot of people pull that out of the Knight of Wands. It kind of feels like it's driving you towards some sort of a spiritual quest. Like your passion, exploring your passion. Exploring why you're impulsive or why you feel impulsive or restless at times. You may actually be experiencing relationships that feel kind of impulsive and leave you feeling restless. Leave you feel like you're wanting more, but because you're biding your time on something. Okay, if I was to rate these two, if I was to rate all the knights, like in terms of speed and ferocity, this to me, the Knight of Swords is the speediest and the most ferocious. And then this one comes in second. So it's kind of like you're appearing a step back from what it is that you're kind of like really being right now, really feeling, really experiencing. A knight too is not a king or a queen. So there is some level of inexperience that you're working through in maybe a situation in your life. You're working through some sort of level of an experience. Then I would put the Knight of Cups and then the Knight of Pentacles in that order in terms of speed and ferocity and impulsivity. Okay, so advice for you. The Two of Wands, Lord of your domain, action of self is needed. That's interesting because how you're showing up in your relationships, it could be kind of sporadic. It could be a little bit sporadic how you're showing up. So taking a greater action of yourself, taking a greater accountability of your actions, of your own actions. There is a sense too of anticipating. So if there's something that you want to drive yourself towards or something that you want to speak up about and you're holding yourself back, you're kind of burying yourself in your work, it kind of shows up in some parts of relationship for you as kind of being in there and being out there, being a little bit sporadic, because I feel like you're pulled in two different directions. So this is almost like kind of like the second step in manifestation. You know, the first one to me is, yeah, the Magician. Actually, it's more like the third. The first one to me is the Magician. Realizing that you really do have everything that you need to create what you want in your life, but it's just getting it kind of in the right order. And then I would say the next step is the Ace of Wands. It's kind of finding that inspiration. So what inspires you? What are you really driven to do? What are you really driven to create? And so get that kind of in your mind and then imagine it, project it. And then that's going to give you a sense of more predictability for where you want, what you want to do, where you want to go. All right. Outcome if you follow the advice. Look at that. A new journey. The Fool. A new journey, freedom, revolution, new beginnings, a fresh start. Okay, because this could be like the desire to do that, but there's other things going on here that you can't. So if you really take stock of what it is you want in, 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years, and how you kind of want to lay that path forward for yourself. It would be a little bit like turning this more into the Knight of Pentacles. The bottom is the Six of Swords. Yeah, right. Like, it's like giddy up and go. Where are we going to go? Where are you going to go, and how are you going to do that? Let's keep building this up. More. All right. The heck is your deal? What the heck? What the hell? Always reminds me of when I got, I don't know, I got called HE double hockey sticks. It was a few years ago. I was lunch monitoring, like with the older kids, and a couple of them came up to me and said, somebody said a bad word. I was like, oh my gosh, what? First I said, what? They said, we can't tell you. I was like, yeah, that makes sense. You can say the bad word. I was like, what happened? Can you handle what? And they said, it starts with H. And I really had to stand there for a minute and think, I don't know any bad words that start with H. What are you talking about? And they whispered, hell. No, but you can't say that. Oh, okay. No. You just never know what's appropriate and what's not. All right. What the hell is your deal, man? Oh, you're putting your love in a different direction. Well, that's interesting. Oh. Wow, you got a lot of chakras in this. Oh, you have strategy, the garden, the gate, thinking woman, the angel of balance. I don't know. I'm not going to get too much into the underlying. But yeah, I would sense that there's a sense of strategy here. Okay, so who you really are, appreciation, you're really appreciative. I feel like you might be really appreciative of something. Who you really are, though, too, is kind of like a singular entity. This reminds me of the Nine of Pentacles. So you are really quite strong in being your own singular entity. You can really try and see, you can appreciate yourself for who you are. Yeah, it's kind of funny because this energy is kind of coming through this reading a little bit. A lot of you have probably already watched it. I started last night, but I'm going to have to finish tonight. I don't know how it ends. Is Being the Ricardos. And I just thought, I remember watching I Love Lucy when I was a kid. Obviously they were reruns. But I looked it up and I thought, I was watching a show and I thought back to like actual Lucille Ball too. And I thought, she had to have been a fire sign. She had to have been a fire sign, that lady. And I looked it up and she was a Leo. I'm okay. Yep, I see it. If Nicole Kidman is portraying her fairly accurately, it's sort of like in the behind the scenes, because I wouldn't have known that. Yeah, Leo, Leo, Leo. Like having this, not being afraid, kind of stand up on your own and take stock of what you know, how you know something may be successful, even when others don't really see that. I mean, that's kind of that sense of your own self-worth and being a singular entity in that case. Like, right? Like how many other ways can you really, there could be a lot of different ways that you can show up as a singular entity in your life. So you do have a really strong sense of self-empowerment with that. Like when you know something, you really know it. But I feel like a bit like you're holding yourself back. So what's really interesting is the mask that you are hiding behind. You have the Ten of Pentacles, and then you have the Fourth Chakra. This really feels like putting a lot of love in what it is that you do, putting a lot of heart and soul into what it is that you really do, into what it is that you've really created. Investing, you're putting it, I'm glad I decided to build this up because it looks like you're putting an emotional investment. And that's interesting, an emotional investment into something that's very physical and even perhaps monetary. Being supportive of those that I do want to say that you feel that you can support, and it could be a big number here with the Ten of Pentacles. Okay, so why you hide your true self? Here we have the world and Temperance. Wow, is this almost like you're biding your time for the end of some sort of cycle? You're biding your time for the end of a cycle here. You're biding your time for an opportunity to move beyond where you are right now. So on some level, I still get this, like, you're investing your heart where you can, but I don't know if you're investing it. Okay, I don't want to say that I don't think you're investing it where you don't want to. I think you are, but I think there's something else more that you would like to invest your heart and your soul into, but it's not the time right now. So you're putting what you can where you can put it, which is really good. Too, right? You had the strategy and the garden and the gate. So the gate is sort of like, you know, closing off a cycle and going out to somewhere new here. So strategizing about that. Okay, how this affects your relationships. It's going to produce victory for you. It's producing victory for you. I'm curious if this is a long-term, a short-term victory, because the Knight of Wands can be impulsive, can be restless, a bit of an explorer. I do feel like you might be managing a lot of relationships too, with the Ten of Pentacles. Yeah, so you're doing good. You know what? You're doing pretty good. Pretty good. Okay, advice for you. Now you have the first chakra, and then you have this Two of Wands here. The first chakra feels like really grounding, not moving forward. So kind of like being as stable as you can where you are right now. Be as stable as you can where you are right now. And while you're doing that, project whatever you are hoping or seeing into the future here. Seems like pretty solid advice. All right then. So outcome, if you follow the advice, now look at this. You have the second chakra, freedom, revolution, beginnings, the Fool. This is really going somewhere where you've never gone before. It's feeling things that perhaps you've never felt in a way before, exploring, having some new experiences that I want to say you may feel a little bit vulnerable only because it almost feels like something that you haven't encountered before, something that you haven't got any experience to start with. But you know what I like? You're biding your time. This is the World. I'm reading it like the World card, the end of the major arcana. And outcome for you is to start. Start at the beginning again. Have a new cycle. Start fresh, start young, start youthful. It's like a new volume of life in the volume of books of your life. And I just feel like that with the second chakra, like opening up pages, like almost like virgin pages here of a cycle for you. All right, so now I'm going to go into this deck. The karma cards, or karmic cards. All right, what the hell is the deal, man? Leo. Who you really are. Sagittarius. That's funny, because that's exactly what this is, like how this affects your relationships. It kind of feels like in a very indirect way, not in, well, a roundabout. Maybe it's more like a roundabout way. You are building victory in your relationships. Traveling, I want to say like traveling towards victory too. Okay, who you really are. You have great insight to understand. You have the wisdom. You require the wisdom based on the results. Okay, so I know this sounds, give me a second here. This is like a word soup. I feel like a politician, actually. All right, who you really are. You have a really good capacity to acquire results, but you require, so results in what you're doing, like whatever that could be. But you get that. You get those results because you have a really strong capacity to understand what's going on around you, which produces a level of wisdom, right? Like that's, I guess, really how you would describe wisdom, like having experiences, truly understanding them and producing results through those, which allows you to acquire a sense of wisdom. Now, also have the 9th house there. I'm studying this. So travel, philosophy, education. So I want to say too that you are someone that has a very strong passion for both travel, different types of belief systems, philosophy, education, expanding the mind. You might want to publish something too, but all right. Okay, the mask that you are hiding behind. So, Leo. So you're not hiding behind much of a mask right now. All right. Leo gets like top notches in this reading. So the mask that you literally, look at, you got Leo. You got Leo, the mask that you're hiding behind. Self-confidence to create, taking a chance on things. You're just impressive. You're so impressive. I like this too, because I want to say, I think, because, you know, it's really interesting too. Like, I'm trying to learn about the different houses. I'm doing like a little cheat sheet here. I'm never going to lie. I got all sorts of cheat sheets to place. I love that stuff. It helps kind of like cement it into your brain. And that's how I learn. I can't just read something once and write it down and then I'll just know it forever. I have to keep incorporating it into what I'm doing. So I am looking off because I'm kind of looking at some of these things. So one of the things too is like drama, right? Like creative pursuits and outlets. So there is a sense of theatrical around you, maybe even a bit of drama. But I think what you do is you really, by utilizing, like, so that could be part of the mask that you're wearing, is people might think, well, you're being a little bit over dramatic right now. But what you're actually doing is you're creating a sense of the need or urgency, like you're really cementing it in, like as opposed to someone saying, I don't know if this is work, or I'm even getting a church group for some of you possibly, just saying, you know what, we're really running out of candles. Let's say it's at your church or something, or a place of worship or a spiritual get-together place. We're running out of candles. We're running out of prayer candles. Someone needs to order new prayer candles. People are looking at you like, okay, well, I guess I'm going to order prayer candles. But you could come in and say, okay, guys, Tuesday, we have one of the biggest get-togethers that we've ever had. And we have absolutely no prayer candles. We can't do what we need to do without those prayer candles. If we don't have those prayer candles, what will we do? I need someone to step up right now and say that they can take on the responsibility of making sure we have prayer candles here. So if you see, like, I feel like it's just kind of that, like, so you kind of impart the, allow people to understand why this is really needed. I just feel like there's a level of drama, but it's not you. It's you. So you're not really wearing much of a mask right now. Why you hide your true self? In the first house, oh, you want to do something very singularly here immediately, which is funny because this is who you really are. Like, you have the Knight of Swords and you have this appreciation card, which is coming up as a very singular energy. The way you project yourself. Something about your personality. I feel like you're going through a personality change, a shift here. But you're waiting to. You've already gone through it. You've already gone through some sort of personality change. Oh, okay. So this now, the mask that you were hiding behind, almost feels like, okay, it's who people knew you to be in the past. It's not really who you are anymore, but you're biding your time about showing this. That's pretty strategic. Oh, I knew this was going to be interesting. Okay, how this affects your relationships. Libra. Relationships. Beauty of do it with your partners. All right. Interesting. Venus. Love. I kind of, you know what I want to say? I think a lot of people are kind of looking at you and feeling a little bit of like a boom, boom, like crushing. Kind of crushing energy. Yeah. Yeah. I think you might be getting a lot of offers. I think you might be getting a lot of people flirting with you. I mean, whether you're noticing that or not. I think you're finding balance too in how to flirt with people successfully. Okay, and now what I'm saying with that is how to oh gosh, why do I keep getting like books popping in my head? What is that? What is that called? Oh shit. How does something influence people? Do you know what I'm talking about? Like, it just feels like that. It's sort of like knowing what buttons to push it's for people to feel comfortable communicating with you. And then by doing that, you're able to get them to open up a little bit. I don't feel like you're flirting in I want to say like a malicious way, like making a lot of people think I'm interested in you, and then kind of moving along, like using people that way, because it's Libra. So there's a balance here. You're bringing balance to your relationships that maybe you didn't have before. And it's kind of funny. It's almost like because you're sitting between two entities of yourself. And even the Leo card, there are two lions here. So it's almost like you're able to understand everything that you've learned about relationships from the personality that you were before. I feel like you've gone through a really big personality change here from what these cards are saying. And you're biding your time to allow this to come out. I don't know why. I don't even know if that'll come out. I mean, that's your business, I guess, really. But so you're sitting on the cusp of exploring and starting to navigate through your life in this new personality. So you have some early perspective on it, right? Like there will be a sense of vulnerability in that. And that's bringing you a balance in terms of seeing how you've dealt with people in the past and understanding how you will deal with people in the future. And you're kind of incorporating that right now while you're still looking like who you've been for a while. All right, advice for you. Oh, Neptune. Well done. Inspire others. Be prepared to sacrifice. Yielding is the only way. Well, that's interesting, because what did I say? I mean, you're not going anywhere with the Two of Wands. You're thinking about it. You're projecting it forward to produce it for yourself. And this first chakra felt like staying put, like staying in your space. So you will, just on some level here, you will inspire others by making some type of sacrifice, perhaps. Perhaps it's a sacrifice of immediately coming out with the new you. And it's telling you right now, yielding is the only way. So there's definitely a fog here with Neptune, right? Like things can be really mysterious. Interesting, because one of the things I'm learning about the 12th house is it's also the house of the self-undoing. So kind of like pulling yourself apart. That's kind of showing up here, because you've become on some level here a new personality. And that just feels like that's a huge part of spiritual growth. So you are in a process of undoing yourself. Paying a karmic debt off. Discovering the meaning of life, right? So you're sort of meant to sit in that. I like this. Outcome if you follow advice. I didn't practice this reading on myself. I usually do that. I just picked up these oracle cards and thought, let's just see what happens. Outcome if you follow advice. Gemini. Information will be explained. Communication. All right, so you're going to get explanations through communication. This is basically, I think, because allowing things to fluctuate around you, allowing things to shift and change. around you. Oh, that's funny too, right? Because this was Mercury in Aquarius, which was the first card that we had as an underline, life-changing journey. Wow, yeah. I mean, that's definitely how I would describe what we see here. And to be quite honest, it's very healthy. Like, it seems very, very healthy. And it seems like, I mean, the only mask you're wearing is really who people have always known you to be, but yet there's someone very different coming out, about to come out here. What's at the bottom of, in Taurus, your beliefs, the costs of, use the most direct way. Oh, you know, I feel like this is talking to me about even beliefs that you've had in the past. You've paid a cost for having a more direct way, perhaps. Because this is like weaving through a labyrinth. It feels a bit like that. But because you've weaved through the labyrinth, you haven't sidestepped any lesson. Whereas this uses the most direct way, but there's a cost to that. And it's your beliefs. Like, well, I believe that I don't want anything to hold me back, so I'm just going to, you know, shove right through these walls or this hedge or whatever has created your labyrinth. But at the end of the day, you can come out really hurt and damaged and exhausted and not be at the end, or not have found what it was. You wouldn't have found it, because it was the journey itself that you've been through, all the twists and turns that created this development of you, of the self, of the new self. Wow, yeah, that's what this is, of the new self. That's what your deal is. You're ready to unveil the new self. I love it. There you go, Leo. So I'm going to go do the extended. What I'm going to do in the extended, I'm going to look at how to improve your relationships. What would your deepest self tell you about your mask, and how to release your true potential moving forward. I have a feeling that could be very deep, just because there's nothing surface toxic sitting here. It's really actually pretty darn healthy. So anyways, yeah, I'm just jabbering on now. So thank you so much, pussycats. Until next time, do be gentle with yourselves. Bye.